Hey there guys, it's Metro, and today we are continuing the look at Karazhan, the return to Karazhan dungeon that's on the 7.1 PTR. And we're going to go up the stairs now. Alright, so at some point you unlock this door. I'm not exactly sure what officially opens it. It may be open from the start, but I would be surprised if that was the case. Regardless, it's at the entrance there, like where you come in is the side entrance, like the old side entrance now is the actual main entrance for this. So that's cool. You can just come in here and go right upstairs, right to Curator. So Curator is kind of the first half of the first boss of the second half. Okay, sorry. There we go. Here we go. Let's go. Take a breath. All right. Anyway, yeah. So the first boss of the second half is Curator, and yeah, it's really interesting. After him, things get really crazy. Just a warning here, this is a very long video, 32 minutes, and the reason it's so long is because for the last 10 minutes or so, I add some stuff that happens outside the group that we're in currently. Some really odd stuff goes down here, and you're going to see it on film, but regardless, we're not able to finish this, and we just kind of run out of time. So afterwards, we had some meetings and stuff, and then afterwards, I come back in and try to solo a little bit more. So that'll be at the end of the video for those who want to see some prop paladin soloing content at a tested item level. But anyway, yeah, let's not worry about that for now. So some pretty cool trash on the way there too, up and down. Literally, there's so much going on in this dungeon. It's really crazy. And this is part of the reason that I said on the previous video that this is going to be a very, very long dungeon. So this is 32 minutes. Like I said, a lot of it's exploration, but I speed a lot of it up too. So if I didn't speed any of this up, it'd probably be about a 40-minute video, maybe even a little bit longer. And then that's on top of the hour and a half that I already cut off from yesterday, or from the other day anyway. So yeah, about 2.5 hours worth of recorded footage. Now, like I said, not all of it is actual dungeon progression. So really it took us about an hour and a half to get this far, to get where we get in the actual group. So I think this is going to take at least an hour for most groups. I'd be surprised to see otherwise. But here you see the same kind of trash that was here in the original Karazhan. There's the little mana dudes. The guy's got like a mana shield, and you just got to kill everything. Now the difference here is Curator's fucking sprinting. I don't know if that's a bug or what. You see how fast he's moving? And then he kind of just stops. It looks like he's moving too fast. Like I don't know, maybe it's intended, but see how fast he's moving? So it would make sense to me if it was intentional to move him that fast, because now it's a lot more dangerous, this hall. You definitely I don't see a reason to pull all these things with the boss. So we're trying to play it a little bit safer, a little bit more cautious than I normally would be as a dungeoneer. But I definitely think, that this is probably what people are going to want to do here, unless for some reason, I don't know, unless there's something on the boss that maybe kills the ads. But regardless, he moves fast, so you have to be very accurate with this final pack here. You'll see what I mean here shortly. Like as soon as he extends backwards, pull, because if he starts, look how fast he's flying at us right now. I mean, that's like Usain Bolt. If Usain Bolt was a Curator, you know what I'm saying? That dude's fast. So we gotta wait until he extends all the way. Now we gotta follow him, and then like as he stood there, so once he stood there, he's there for a few seconds, so you can get the mobs out. But by the time the mobs are in this hallway, he's already extending back. So yeah, it needed to be quick. And I said I even made a joke on the video. I was like, oh. Can you grip? Because we don't have a DK, but anyway, yeah. So yeah, as you see, he's already standing back here. So I'm not sure what's up with that, but regardless, that's something that you may have to deal with. So the boss itself is wholly the same. I mean, they added some mechanics, but the main thing is he still has that phase where he takes a bunch of extra damage, and kind of like he's the evocate phase, right? So this boss was always kind of like the first. I always looked at this boss as like this was one of the big DPS checks in Karazhan, quote unquote DPS checks. I mean, it was a 10-man raid, but regardless, this one was difficult. There was the AoE damage to deal with, and then of course you needed to be able to push him really hard in that phase. So you're going to see that we do not do that very well at all. In fact, yeah, I would say that we do it terribly, considering especially we don't have Lust. This is a fight that would be a lot easier with Lust. I mean, straight up, like there's no way to say one way or the other that it wouldn't be, because having the damage phase there is always nice. So I guess he summons these ads. Another thing is he puts these like puddles down. I think that has something to do with the tank. To be honest, I have completely no idea. I just know the tank was talking about. He's like, oh, that's my bad. I put those down in the wrong location. It has something to do with me. So there you go. He's evocating. He's taking extra damage. So now is the time to burn through him quickly. We do all right. I mean, I think realistically though, with Lust and a properly optimized group, especially one that's not confined by the item level, I think we would be able to kill him in one phase, kind of like Il'gynoth, right? Before he gets buffed there or something. But anyway, the idea there would be to just kill him in one phase. Now, of course, it doesn't even matter if you don't, because he'll be low enough, even if you don't, to finish him here before things get out of control. But yeah, like I said, our group, mostly because of the item level as well, but not only because of that, but also just because of poor optimization. So things start getting out of control here, man. That's insane. This is a pretty complicated encounter when things like that go down. So I'm not really sure like what the actual strategy would be. I guess he throws that out in front of the player or in front of himself. So kind of have to maybe face him against the wall. Is that how it works? I'm not really even sure. But regardless, that's Curator. So he's going to go down here again. And we're going to be able to kill him this time. That's it. Down like the Titanic goes Curator. I like this encounter mostly because it's nostalgia. Like, even if, yeah, he hasn't got an updated model either. I was joking about that in the first half of the video, but of course, I muted the audio. But regardless, yeah, that's a pretty funny thing to see. All these new updated models, like especially the Medivh one. So their Salandra gets like a fucking high item level relic, which is pretty funny on the PTR. So here's another cutscene. Unfortunately, this time people are just talking way too loud. The last two times people were talking way too loud as well, but this time it's not. I can't play you the audio. You wouldn't be able to hear anything. But I think what they're talking about is creating the Curator and it going out of control or something like that. I'm not even sure, to be honest. Like I said, I wish I knew that these were in the game. I would have actually taken the time to make sure I was set up to record them properly. But anyway, that's that. So now we're going to go on to the proper crazy bit. It's really insane, the next stuff that's coming up here. So let's take a journey through it together. You're going to be really surprised when you see it. So now we go from like what Karazhan normally looks like to upside down for some fucking reason. I really don't understand. I don't know. Like maybe that little cutscene there said something about it being upside down. But you can't really tell based on what we're looking at right now. But yes, we are basically upside down in the part of Karazhan that we would be at now normally. And I don't really know why. But it's fucking cool. One way or the other, there's a couple types of mobs here. We'll talk about them. The pyromancers are pretty dangerous. They summon these imps that kind of like shoot out a line of fire. And then they do those orbs there, those green orbs. Looks like a hellfire thing under the orb. When those orbs explode, they hit everybody for something, I guess. I don't know. Maybe they don't hit everybody. But when I was soloing them, they were crushing me. So I'm not sure. But either way, that bat there, okay? So what you have to do with the bat is it has like a debuff on it. It's called like impatient or something like that, or short temper or something like that. We didn't realize this because you can only see it if you're the tank, but you need to taunt it. If somebody taunts it, then it comes flying down to the ground. And maybe because I can't see it, I wouldn't be able to taunt it. Maybe only the tank can taunt it. But regardless, we're like freaking out. We're like, we have no range DPS. It's going to take us forever to kill these bats. We thought, you just need to kill them at range. So we're going to try to run by them, which is going to ultimately suck. But it's the only option we see at the time because we did not notice that was the case. But yes, you can just taunt the bat. I'm pretty sure it would work that way. And he would just come flying down. So, whoopsie, that was a lot of damage. I don't even know what that was. But anyway, here's another ad here. He kind of just does like teleports around. He puts his fire shit underneath him, and then he does this like frontal slash, like slash. Blah, 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 blah. So we're gonna be able to solo him, me and Sai here. Just godlike soloing me and Sai. I cannot believe how fucking overpowered Holy Paladin is, man. I cannot wait. Even though they kind of nerfed our damage a little bit here, I am going to have a lot of fun expansion, a lot of fun this expansion with Holy Paladin. So I figured the best option here is to die to get out of combat, but unfortunately the bats are just still here and waiting for us. So like I said, we think it's bugged. It's on the beta, it's on the PTR, and we haven't actually encountered any real bugs in this dungeon so far. So, the first thing that comes up that seems like it's a bug, which is really just a lack in our skill, it just appears to be so. You know what I mean? Like, we don't even think twice about it. But now this fight is very, 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 very interesting. So we're going to try to talk about it as much as I can here. Let's make sure we get the right setup here. But either way, the boss has basically just got a billion mechanics, and you have to pick and choose which ones you want to deal with. So the first one there is that fire ability. Every single thing can be interrupted, all right? The fire one does AoE damage around you. That arcane one there that he's casting now does a lot of damage to the tank. And then this frost one freezes you. So that one's like the highest, like the lowest. You have to do that. You have to get that one off. But if you don't, then the fire one will break the ice block. That's the only way to break it. So if you don't interrupt the frozen one, then you need to make sure you don't interrupt the fire one and use the fire one to break the ice block. Otherwise, the person is stuck in there forever. And then he splits into 3 phoenixes. So the best option here is to go from 1 to 1. Like, make sure you're not split up. The first time we tried this, we were all split up. It takes very long when everybody's all split up. So just quickly nuke them. They have a cast as well that can be interrupted. So that's very good. The actual cast does not do that much. But if all 3 of them are casting constantly and you're not killing them, then it's going to get tricky. Now, he also has this like empowered phase of all of these mechanics, I'm pretty sure. I guess that, I don't know, that doesn't really count, I don't think. But hopefully you'll see it here. I can't remember exactly how the fight goes. We wiped a bunch on this boss. So there's, once again, if you aren't going to interrupt the fire, just get it out of the group. It does AoE damage. And I would definitely try to, like, you know, this is a fight where interrupting every single mechanic would be the way forward. But I don't think that's possible. I don't know. Maybe it is with the really strict rotation, but regardless. So, yeah, I'm just going to move out slightly so that doesn't hit anybody if it does. And then, so yeah, there you go. So somebody gets frozen, and now it's when we realize that the fire needs to be taken to him. So now there's like his empowered frost mechanic. So the way you mitigate this is by jumping. Every time you jump, you take a stack off yourself, which people obviously don't realize in this group, so no surprise. But yeah, so we're like super fucked right now, like, because this mechanic has happened. The whole room is ice, and somebody's dead, and one other person's an ice block. Now 2 people are fucking ice block. So yeah, as you can see, the fight is actually really tricky, because if somebody dies, then there goes one of your interrupts, and that's a lot more difficult to deal with. So now, yeah, he's going to break both of them with the fire there, so that's pretty cool. Now Flame Wreath is the empowered fire mechanic, and this is, you see those rings. If I move out of that ring, everybody fucking dies. And this is basically how we wiped every single time we wiped. So yeah, unfortunately, I have the fire thing there to break the ice over there, but I can't actually go over there, because if I do, the Flame Wreath is going to explode. So it's really dangerous, a really dangerous mechanic and encounter in general. Like, all of this, I really like this concept where it's just like every single one of his mechanics can be mitigated in some way, but you have to do it properly. And if you don't, then you're going to take a lot of damage from it. And I kind of also like that, you know, every single one of them can be interrupted in some degree, or, you know, kind of like negated in some degree. So that's pretty cool. It's a really dynamic and fun encounter, if you ask me. I think it's definitely one of my favorite encounters in here. If not, I think it is my favorite. The next one is really cool. I haven't seen the final fight, so I shouldn't say that. But the next one is really fun, and I'm going to show you guys why when we get there. We're almost there. We just got to kill the rest of this boss here. These freaking phoenixes. But obviously, so something really funny happens here. You're going to see this is really comical. And unfortunately, you know, I think is probably the bug that I was just describing, the one bug that we're going to come across here. So as we kill the encounter, here we go. Let's go. Kill the encounter. Here we go, guys. We can finish it. Yep. So we don't interrupt that. Okay. And then is there fire coming out? I don't know. Is it going to be fire? Let's see. Nope. He's going to do the ice thing again. So, oh, there's a fire. Oh, but the boss is dead. And the fire's gone. So guess what? That dude's stuck in there forever. Like, literally, he cannot get out of that. So I think it might be because we're still in combat with the bats. That's the only thing that's what Sai was thinking. He's like, oh, we're still in combat with the bats. So if we weren't if we dropped combat, the ice would break. But we didn't. So now we do some crazy motherfucking shit. I don't even know. So this is, once again, upside down Kara. Falling through the roof, which used to be the roof. But now we're going into some dimensional portal thing and space. And it's crazy. It's just crazy. This shit is fucking insane, man. The next half of this, the next like quarter of this dungeon is some nasty stuff, man. It's unbelievable. And just, you know, this fall alone is really cool. But anyway, yeah. So now we fall into what was described to me. I haven't seen the movie, but what was described to me as Karazhan from the movie. So I wouldn't know. I didn't see the film, which may come as a surprise to you guys. But regardless, I guess this is what it looks like in the film. So this is pretty cool. But the funny part is we come and it's like really large for some reason compared to the original Karazhan. So we come down here and we're mad small. Like we fall through that like spatial anomaly and we're mad small. But yeah, so there's shadows, just he's done. I don't know what we could do. He's gonna try like relogging and stuff. Salandra suggests make a new character, but like yeah, it doesn't seem like it's gonna work. So either way, we go on from here with 4, and then obviously that contributes to why we need to end. But yeah, so we're basically really small, and everything in here is like a massive threat. So there's this rat. It's just a fucking rat. Like it would be like a yellow critter. But because we're really small, it's a really dangerous mob. And it's really fucking cool. Look at that rat line that he forms. It's so cool. This is such a cool idea. I think this is like my favorite conceptual mechanic in the dungeon. Like how, this trash is here like this. It's not the most fun, but it's a really clever way to make this feel funny, And I'm going to show you why when we fight the boss, because basically all the trash down here is just, it's just trash normally, but it's actually really dangerous here. And that mana worm over there is a boss, but when we grow large again, it's just trash. You know what I mean? And it makes it, you realize why it's trash, because, well, that's just what they're trying to play on you, like, some Alice in Wonderland shit. But regardless, it's a really, really cool concept, and I think this is A+ right here, man. If I had to congratulate Blizzard on one thing they did in this dungeon, I guess I'd still say the ambience is still the coolest part of this dungeon, like how legit it feels and how crazy it does. But I think this is such a cool idea here. Fighting a boss that basically is just trash, and we're small, so it's extra dangerous and stuff. It's just really cool. But anyway, the boss's mechanics, like I said, are identical to how it is on the trash. Just move out of that, I guess. But he's going to summon these orbs that are going to attract to him. And if he gets them, he gets mana. So you see the mana bar he has. If he doesn't get them, it means we got them. We have to intercept them. And when we intercept them, we gain a damage buff. But when he gets max mana, we die. All right, so cut that out before we wipe a few times of this, especially because we only have 4 people. So anyway, there's the orbs. So we need to stop them from getting to him, which obviously is easy when you're small. But when you're big, it's a little bit more difficult. You'll see that after this. But either way, you get a damage buff, I guess. I didn't seem to get one there, but apparently that's what happens. And we just need to, I think you take damage as well. I'm not exactly sure about how it works when you're like the small guy. I know exactly how this fucking trash works when you're big, because I had to solo it a ton. But regardless, yes, the actual boss version, you just have to soak the orbs, and then you get a damage buff. And then obviously that's, the key to killing the fight quickly. Otherwise, you would basically, like, if for some reason you didn't get the damage buff, the whole fight would be you running around and getting these orbs, because if they get to him, if he gets to 100, which he gets to 100 pretty quick if he gets a few. So yeah, you would do this the whole fight. You would never be able to, like, you wouldn't be able to DPS the boss. It would be like, all right, bring no melee, because yeah, we need all range to just stand and soak these things. So anyway, it's a really cool encounter, a really cool idea. Like I said, I love the idea. I think that's the coolest part about this part of the dungeon. It's just how upside down and backwards everything is, and then like this whole like, some craziness where we're small and then we're gonna get big again, and I don't know. It's just really fucking cool. And even the chest was there. If you saw before, kind of off to the side, we walked by a chest. That's the chest that has loot in it. But if you try to click it when you're small, it's like you cannot reach the latch. So that's just so fucking cool, man. I'm really happy with Karazhan so far. I can't wait to actually finish it, because I imagine it's going to be awesome. But anyway, so now we grow really large, and we're still taking damage for some reason. But anyway, heal a tub up, at least everybody else could die. So now we're large again, and this is where like the rest of the dungeon is going to be like staged. There's the mana worms, right? The guys we literally just fought as a boss are now just trash, and they have the same mechanics, but the mechanics are obviously way less deadly and way less important. But if they do get 100 mana, it still happens on the trash. If they do get 100 mana, they still do a bunch of AoE damage. So, but it won't kill you. So anyway, it's really neat. I like the concept a lot. And now that we're kind of able to explore this area, that's what we're going to do for the next, 15 minutes of this video, a little bit less, about 12 minutes of this video. So I don't really know if I have much to talk about. We'll try to. I'm going to just try to commentate. But at this point, the video is effectively over, guys. So thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one. But I am going to continue on. So now everybody leaves because we have 4 people, and we were in here for 2.5 fucking hours. So now I'm going to try to solo the rest of the shit. So I'm just going to show you guys a little bit. So there's the bat. Like I said, you can taunt the bat down. I'm not exactly sure how we missed that. I think it's probably because only the tank can realize it. And that's because I didn't see it even on the recording here. And then, of course, now we're going to fight this mob here. So, yeah, the core tenements of soloing a raid or a dungeon, always, have your CDs up, which I do. And honestly, I'm really surprised by this. Now, this is not as easy as it would be on Blood. There's a lot of things that I wish I just could come in here on my Blood DK and do this, because Blood DK is just so good for soloing. It's unbelievable. AMS just carries so many mechanics, but this type of trash mob just knocks you back and does like a little melee thing. I don't know. It doesn't do much, long story short, so I don't even really take damage. But the Pyromancer is a fucking nightmare. And I don't know what I missed when we did the Pyromancers earlier in the dungeon, because those orbs did not seem to do damage. Even when I was watching this recording back here, I did not notice them do damage. But when I soloed it, I wonder if there's something that we missed there, because when I soloed it, those things fucking crushed me. They hit me for like 75% of my health. So it was very dangerous. The only way I was able to beat the Pyromancer that's coming up here was by having every single CD up. And what I'd have to do was I would, pop everything on the pole. So I'd have like 16 seconds plus of active mitigation up for the first explosion. Active mitigation and, full health, I would survive easily. Then I would just be able to heal myself up. Then for the second one, I would need to, I was alternating either between Guardian or Bubble. One way or the other, I needed one up to survive. So then the second one, Guardian, I would Guardian, I guess. And then the third one, I would Bubble. And if it wasn't dead by then, that was it. So it was usually really close. Like the fourth ones would come out as like the imps and stuff. It would depend if he cast the imps or if he cast the balls. But regardless, it would always be really close. And I finally get it. And the reason that I need to get this is because after this is the chess event. So yes, we're going to talk about the chess event too when we get there. But here I'm just showing off a little bit here, soloing this fucking dungeon. That, don't forget, is item level scaled for testing purposes. So I am the item level they want me to be at, and I am soloing a mythic dungeon. Now, of course, don't get it fucking twisted. There's 0% chance I can solo the bosses. No fucking way. I mean, these bosses were taking us like 5 minutes each with 5 players. So 0% chance I could solo any of these bosses as a prop paladin at this item level. But it does it makes me want to I just really want to go try to solo shit, man. I love soloing stuff. It's just something I never have enough time for. So I think I'm going to be starting. I just have to find the time. I can't wait to do it on my Blood DK. My DK is actually pretty geared now. But anyway, I think, do I show you? Yeah, I show you the death here. So that, you see how much damage those fucking orbs did. Now, the reason I show you that is because we come back here and these fucking ads are back. So I don't know if this is a bug or what, but yeah, in order to get to where I was, we had to kill these worms. So we're just going to show this too, just for completionist sake. After I equipped some fucking artifact power on the beta, smart player here. I might as well go do TOT on the beta. But anyway, yeah, so these Mana Devourer things, these guys are the boss that we did before, remember? But they're back. They respawn for some reason every few minutes. It seems like every 10 minutes they respawn. So I had to fight these things a lot. And the best way I found to do so solo is kind of, you just got to run around in circles. So obviously it's going to be a lot easier when you have 5 fucking people, because you're just going to run into these orbs by accident. But when you're alone, it's a lot more dangerous, a lot more difficult. Because the orbs track to them. They don't come in a central way. So for some reason, the mobs aren't square. Like how they are now, all 3 of them are kind of a little bit spread out. If there was a way I could grip them all on top of each other, it would be a lot easier to do. But every time I make a subtle movement, the orb kind of adjusts as well. So like if, that right one there has an orb coming at it and I move, and the mob moves when I move. So like I'm moving to try to go get the orb, right? But then the mob moves because I've moved, right, to stay in melee range of me. Then the orb moves too. So it's actually really, this is not the job of the tank, if you ask me. Like the fact that happens just kind of proves it that the damage dealers are the ones that should be moving to get these things, because the mobs need to stay stationary. Otherwise, the orbs will move too. So it's interesting. But anyway, that's that. I just wanted to show this part off too, because the main coolness here is this like upside down twisted hallway. It's just so well designed, honestly. Like I'm really impressed by the design, like the cognitive effort that's been put into making this place look insane. And I don't really know what the purpose of it is, to be fair. I don't actually understand why they made it this way, but maybe there's some lore, maybe there's something I've missed here. But all of a sudden, we're just upside down in Karazhan, and I don't really understand that. So regardless, it's fucking cool. So there you see that like twisting upside down tunnel here. And then we come out here, which I don't really know where we are. Are we actually somewhere in Karazhan at this point? I see those like, yeah, the dudes there, whatever they are, the ethereals. But anyway, yeah, that guy takes me like 10 minutes to kill, and I finally do. So now we're done, and we're up here, okay? And I'm like, oh, da, 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 wah, ba, 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 wah, da, da, da. So it's just event. We're finally here. So I'm just going to explain to you how this works. I'm not able to complete it, and I'm going to tell you why as well. But yes, so it's not what you expect. It's not what the chess event used to be, which, sad but true, is the way it needs to be, because that shit never fucking worked in the first place, and it was just a complete joke. Man, the amount of private servers that I've played on that the chess event was just a reason you could not do Karazhan. So anyway, what you have to do is you have to kill one of these mobs, and then every time one of these chess like pieces die, the boss loses his bubble. The bubble he has makes him take 90% less damage. So theoretically, you could kill him without doing any of this stuff. But yeah, I don't see a reason to. So just based on the feedback that I've seen from actual groups who have done this, they said that he dies way too quick. If you kill one of these things, he can die in one chess piece. So it doesn't really feel like you're playing chess or there's any real impact here. But the feedback that I can give as a prop paladin at the item level it's supposed to be tested at alone is this shit fucking sucks. And I'm going to tell you why. Because for some reason, every few seconds, the mobs heal. If you pay attention, even rewind, I guess, if you want. But if you pay attention, the mob heals like a few percent every few. See, there, it happened there. He healed like 2%. And that fucking blows. So what I'm thinking is that this is part of it. Like the king is meant to heal too. So like if you don't kill him in one, chess piece dies, you don't kill him before the bubble comes back, then he's going to heal a bunch. And it kind of penalizes you. I just don't know. I mean, I guess it's harder to kill with less damage for some reason because the heal is brutal. But as you see here, I mean, I can't really line CDs up because I needed them to kill that trash. But the best I can get him is like 75%. I have some footage here where I get him sub 30 and then I die to the queens like AoE shit. So it's just fucking brutal. Anyway, that's that. That's the chess event. It's not, like I said, not exactly what you expect. Now the last few minutes of the video here are going to be some exploration. You can go up here, which at first it doesn't seem like there's anything up here. For some reason the trash won't come up here either. They just reset once you get to the top, so that's cool. But up here, I guess, once again, this is part of the movie or something. I'm not sure. But there's these books up here. Excuse me. Now, you'll see I have one on me. And there's the transformation that it causes there. Whenever I go below 25% health, I turn into a fucking Mountain King. So that's pretty cool. But there's another one that's like the more range you have between yourself and the target of your spells, the more damage the spells do. So that's great for like a hunter, like a mage or something like that. And then there's another one that every time I heal somebody under 25%, I like a semi-permanent, like at least a minute-long buff comes out that also heals the targets. So that was kind of, I used that for soloing a little bit there. I think that was the one I just got. But anyway, there's a bunch of these buffs, but like they're like books. Now I brought this up to Syiler, and he said these books were in the original TBC one. I don't remember. I did not play much TBC, so I do not know that. But anyway, apparently they were. So yeah, there's all kinds of cool stuff like that in the dungeon. There's a lot of side areas too in the first half of the dungeon, a lot of alternate routes that you can take. So that would be something I would like to explore. But regardless, now I'm doing some hardcore exploration. This is an area that you're not meant to be in the dungeon. I got down here by doing some crazy gliding shit. And now you can like walk up this path. So I was like, oh, fuck, here we go. Press record, guys, because I just found some crazy shit. And there's even webs there, right? So it's like, it's not like they intended you to come here, I don't think, but surely there has to be. Why would they put the webs there? So I'm not sure. Now, there's a door there, right? So, hey, here we go, guys. Hidden boss. This is the hidden boss. Maybe here we go. I'm about to find world first footage. So let's just go ahead and walk through that doorway, and it's going to port us into the cow level from Diablo 2. And when we're in there, we're going to be able to find a cache of hidden legendaries. Oh, JK. All right, so we die. And now there's, more, like, you can actually approach that. I didn't realize it. Like, at first I jumped down there, but you could actually just jump down here. So yeah, you can just fall right here. It's really bizarre, and I don't know why you would want to come over here. There has to be something else. Maybe they're going to put treasures here or something like that. But regardless, yeah, if I use the speed buff, I can get onto this platform. And then there's these two pyromancers, which I mentioned before are just fucking rapists. I do not want anything to do with these things. So like they kind of like pat at an interval that I can stay in the middle of both of them. And I see this mob up there. I was like, all right, I gotta fucking get to this guy. What there's definitely a hidden legendary up there, like a best in slot piece on that ledge there. I have to get there. But unfortunately, I get too close to this back one here, and he starts getting really upset. And he's going to fucking kill me, but that's not a bad thing because now I'll show you an even cooler thing that you can do here. And this is kind of something that I don't know if it's intended. I don't know if there's ever going to be a reason to do something like this, but there are these weird ledges all throughout Karazhan that you can get to, and you can only really do so with the glider. So I think this is probably one of the first dungeons that's ever been made like this because it's made in like an isometric, geometric way. Basically just an inverted previous Karazhan. Like they almost didn't change anything. They just completely inverted it and probably textured some of it. You can do shit like this. You know what I mean? So I'm flying over dead space, areas that you're not able to get through, but because I have a glider and there's so many weird peaks and valleys that I can do that shit. So anyway, I killed the guy and I wasted my time, and that's everything. So it's been 30 minutes now, guys. Thanks for watching. If anybody has made it this far, congratulations, man. You're awesome. But wow, Karazhan is awesome. It's so cool. It's definitely one of my favorite things about Legion so far. I feel like this rivals how well Suramar City looks and is made as well. There's some contextual complaints that I have with both, but they are breathtaking at face value, guys, and that's what Legion is to me. They just put so much work into the concepts and the design and the fibers of the expansion, what it's made out of. So I love it. I hope you guys do as well. If you have any questions about Karazhan, especially the second half that I showed you here today, let me know. Or about soloing, I guess. Maybe we could talk about that too. But otherwise, thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video.